Okay. What have we here? Oh dear. Awfully young. Awfully young. Hi there. Peekaboo. Well, the family said that you were a very, very kind, sweet, and generous person. Well, that's what most of them said. Not everybody. Most people said you were very kind and sweet and generous. But listen, not everybody's gonna like you, right? No matter what you do, somebody's gonna be a hater. Haters gonna hate. What are you gonna do? They're probably mad at you because you didn't give them enough money or something, right? That's usually the case. I feel like you got taken too soon, though. And I often wonder, what are people gonna say about me? Was I a nice man? Was I kind? Was I generous? Hopefully they think I was funny, Nobody thinks the Mortician's funny. I think I have a pretty good sense of humor. Like, what did the fish say when it hit the cement wall? Damn. I think that's funny, I think that's pretty funny. Okay, here's another one for you, You're gonna like this one. Where do you find a dog with no legs? Right where you left it. It's a dark joke. It's a dark joke. Oh. You wanna know my mom's favorite joke? My mom's favorite joke. Whenever she tells this joke, she literally like cracks up in the middle of telling it. She goes, "Hey, have you ever smelled mothballs?" You have? Well, how'd you get their tiny little legs open? And what's amazing about that joke is she cannot tell it without cracking up. And it's her cracking up that makes the joke work. So, yeah, everybody says Morticians aren't funny. I think that's rude. I don't know. Well, we gotta make you pretty. I mean, you're good looking. At least you were. But let's get on with it, I guess. Okay. Wow. What is today's date? The time is... Okay. first and foremost, we're going to start with your neck. A lot of times, I would start with the head, but, I don't think your family's going to want to have you wearing a hat. That would be a little silly, so we're just going to start with your neck, okay? All right, here we go. And just right there for me, good. And we're just going to get that measurement, not too tight. Right there, nice. And while I have you here, let me measure from your neck right there to the end of your shoulder for me, okay? We're just gonna measure right there, and beautiful. And if you don't mind staying still, hold still right there for me. Nice job. And we're gonna go right to there. Okie dokie. All right. Neck. And here. And we're gonna do the old crown to cuff. That's gonna be your shoulder. The old your shoulder to your wrist measurement there. And in fact, you want to do me a favor? You want to hold up your hand for me a little bit. Right. See, I told you it's a rigor mortis joke, because your hand stays right there if I leave it there. And people say morticians aren't funny. I don't know. I think that's mean. And left arm, crown to cuff, beautiful. And you can put that arm back down. There we go. And I'm gonna hold up your right arm for me a little bit, just the same way. You get me. You get me. I think that's funny. And we're gonna go from crown right there to cuff. Should be the same length. And it is. You are a symmetrical human being, which is always convenient. Crown to cuff, and it's the same on both sides. You want to hear something weird about morticians? There's, I don't know if you believe this one or not. I heard this from a friend that there was this one mortician who liked it when his wife took an ice bath before they did the... Yeah, he wanted his wife to take an ice bath. Creepy, right? Super creepy. I know. I think it's as creepy as you think it is. I wouldn't do that. Ugh. No, thank you. No. I mean, I just got in this because it was the family business. Like, I don't know. Maybe my grandpa was a freak. I don't know. I don't think so. He seemed like a nice enough man. You never really know somebody, though, do you? Yeah. And then his father, has been in the family for 3 generations, and I just kind of, it was like, well, here's a job, And unfortunately, there's a lot of money in the death business, which, as your family is finding out right now. Yeah, so there's that. But listen to me rambling on and on and on and on and on. Okay. Well, here's one thing that's nice about working with the dead is that y'all are great listeners. You're very non-judgmental, Some people think it's creepy to talk to a dead person. I don't know. It wasn't too long ago that you were, smiling and laughing and joking and having a good time, and there is something that does change when the spirit, leaves the body. But I think in some strange way that there's a tiny part that is still with us, which is why I believe in being very respectful. It's why I like to talk to my clients, I mean, I don't know if I truly believe in ghosts, but if your spirit is still lingering around, I'd like to think that we would be friends, and that, you know, that I treated you with respect and wasn't, you know, not mournful and not sad and not overly happy, but respectful. You know, that I even though you may be passed on to the other side, but I still treat you like a human being with respect and dignity. You know, I don't know why I think that's important, but I do. So, okay, well, I'm gonna measure your waist now. All right. This is gonna get a little awkward because I kind of gotta like reach underneath you. So, hey, I'm a professional. Okay, so don't mind. I'm not gonna get fresh with you. I'm just gonna reach. Just gonna reach right under your lower back there and up and around. There we go. And measure your waist right there. I mean, I am gonna see you naked later, so don't. It's not that awkward, is it? It's not that awkward. I mean, you know, I'd have to put pants on you and like put a shirt on. I'm gonna, you know, you understand the job. Yeah. Then again, I will do this with complete respect. Okay. Okay. Shake on it. Yeah, you get the idea. And while I'm here, I'm also gonna go ahead and measure your chest. All right. So this one's a little stickier. I gotta go underneath your back here. Just gonna lift you up a little bit right there, and underneath your back, and just breathe normally for me. Just breathe normally. Don't inhale too much. Again, I know it's gallows humor, but you know, I think it's fun. There we go. That's all. Just that, and then. All right. Okie dokie. And your chest. And your waist. Okie doke. Now I'm gonna measure from your hip down to your knee. Measure that first, is hip to knee. Here we go, from here on your left side, right there on your hip, all the way down to your knee. Beautiful. Yeah, on your right hand side, from your hip bone, right there, hip bone, all the way down to your knee. Right there, beautiful. And on your right side, I'm going to go all the way hip to ankle, and hip all the way down to the ankle. Beautiful. And on your right hand side, we're going to go hip all the way down to your ankle. Right there. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. And your rise is going to be and waist to ankle was a total of buddy ump. And I'm going to get your total height. I'm going to measure your total height from head all the way down to your toe. So if you don't mind me, I'm just going to put this right here at the top of your head. Right there. I'm just going to let that dangle right there. Good. Okay, just going to leave that right there if you don't mind. And we're going to go all the way down to the end of your toe, which is right down there. Beautiful. Okie dokie. And okay. And total height was. All right. And do you know your shoe size? No, don't worry. I'm gonna measure your shoe size too. Yeah, let me see your let me see your right foot real quick. Right foot is beautiful. Make sure your left foot is the same, and beautiful. Okie doke. Okie dokie. And shoe. Alright, well, let me pull up a chair just for a moment with you here. Okay. Now, you have been a very nice client. I remember when I said earlier, like not everybody had nice things to say. I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong here, the people that say those kinds of things are often the ones that have, how to say this politely, the biggest chip on their shoulders. They are the ones that feel like they are owed the most, They kind of end up, being like the victim-y types. The ones like, you're the one who's dead, and they're going like, well, what about me? What about me? And, yeah, those people I find very annoying, So, the vast majority of people said you were, that you're pretty awesome. You know what? I'm going to choose to believe them. So, I hope you've had a good transition to the other side. I hope you're at peace. Hope you're resting. I hope you thought you had a full life, and that you didn't go with a lot of regrets. It's kind of one of the things that I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that I'm going to have a lot of regrets. But the main thing is I hope I don't have any people that I'm like incomplete with. I hope you were complete with all your family and what have you. And I remember my great-grandfather, he was born in 1899. And I'm not even joking. 1899. He died in 2003 or 2004. I think it was 2004. I think he was 105 years old. It was over 20 years ago now, but I know my dad asked him one time, what's the most important thing? And without hesitation, he said experiences. And I think he's right. It's the experiences that matter. It's not the thing, how many days you showed up to work in a row. That's not the thing that, you remember. What you remember is the cool trip you took, the adventure that you had, the pretty girl that, you weren't afraid to ask. You weren't afraid to ask to dance. Those are the things you remember. It's not the day-to-day stuff. That just goes by in a blur, and before you know it, you're 40, and then you blink and you're 50, and then you blink and you're 80. And then you blink and then you're you. So, I hope that you felt complete. So, it's been an honor to serve you. I'm going to make you look real, real good for your friends and family and loved ones. And if there's anything else I can do for you, don't be afraid to give me a chain rattle or something. Or any other kind of fun sign. I don't know. Maybe you can make a whooshing sound through a window, or you can be like a hummingbird or something. That's actually another cool one. So when my wife's grandmother passed, her favorite bird, this is a totally true story, her favorite bird was a hummingbird. And one day, a couple days after she'd passed, my wife was in our backyard, and a hummingbird came up and hovered right in front of her for like a non-insignificant amount of time. Came right up and just hovered, kind of floated back and forth for a while, like looked at her, and then flew off. Never happened before or since. So, what is that? You know? I like to believe that that was Kitty just saying, hey, I'm okay. You know? I'm okay. At least I want to believe that. So, if there's anything else I can do for you, just give me a little sign. Okay? Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Take care and sweet dreams.